DorkLair.
Welcome to another DorkLair collecting video. Today I'm taking a look at my top 10 action figures from 2021 from $50 to $100. That price range is the range. So like my previous list was under $50, so anything that was $49 was on that list. So $50 will land in this list. And then, anything over $100, so $101 plus will be my next list. And that means anything $100 exactly could be on this list. Like this Mando, which is actually not on this list. These are my two runners up. I had a really hard time making a top 10, so I'm kind of cheating, and it's essentially a top 12. But the movie realization Mandalorian is in there as a runner-up. It probably would have made the list if the cape was a little bit better. But for me, the fact that they came back to this line after pretty much a full year break was awesome. I'm so pumped that they're doing more of these. And I also have the Beskar version on pre-order. So super pumped about that. And then my other figure also probably would have made my top 10 if it hadn't been for an issue with the hips. It wasn't really a big deal, but it does kind of knock it down a little bit because in general, the ogres have problematic hips. And I know that they're fixing those for all of the future ogre scale figures. But this is the Mythic Legions Equidron. This is the anniversary Equidron, and they also had a Shadow Equidron. I prefer the anniversary Equidron for the colors and whatnot. But they're both awesome figures, and very well could have made my top 10 if it weren't for a few little nitpicky things. Both of these figures, awesome figures, and again, could have made my list pretty easily. But the competition was stiff, so let's get into this thing. Number 10, the SH Figuarts Armorer from The Mandalorian. Fantastic figure. I love this release. It's the sculpt, I think, is pretty much perfect. I love all the leathery parts, and the accessories are fantastic. They'd had some other releases this year, but this is definitely my favorite. I also really like the heavy infantry Mandalorian, but that one's out of the price range. So that one is probably going to make my next list. Little spoiler alert there. Hopefully I'll be able to get to that list pretty soon. Number 9, we have the Previews exclusive Mezco 112 Collective Hellboy from the movie. And I know that the previous Hellboy, the standard edition, came out in 2020, but this one did drop in 2021. And this figure is phenomenal. It's kind of funny. I haven't even seen the movie yet. I just kind of like the character. I like the comic book. And in general, this figure blew me away. It wasn't terribly expensive. Like I may have gotten it for less than retail. And it's the flaming sword, the horns, all the upgrades that are on this version of it just take it to the next level. Awesome figure, great details, weathering, amazing sculpt work. Just an incredible figure. And I highly recommend seeking this one out. Or even just the regular. The regular is fantastic too. Pick that one up as well. Anyway, Previews exclusive Hellboy is my number 9. In at number 8, and I just want to preface this one with saying that one of my favorite activities when it comes to figures is part swapping and kit bashing and kind of like mixing and matching and making my own guys. And this is a bit of a kit bash, but the base body is what is my number 8, and that is the Holiday Gomez. Very cool release, just a lot of fun to play around with the Christmas theme and mix it in, like with this head sculpt, with the other Christmas figure, the Cousin Eddie pack, the Advent calendar. And then I have a few other little parts on here. I threw that jacket on, the Vapor jacket, some Doc Nocturnal gloves. And yeah, I just love it. I love the Christmas sweater. I love the slacks he's got on, the new Christmas colored chucks and, hoverboard and all that stuff. And just a really cool, fun figure. And it was nice to see sort of the second half of the year to see Mezco coming back a little more with the Gomez stuff. But yeah, this is my number 8. Number 7, this is the Hazard Squad Commander, the Gold Commander Gomez. And again, the part swapping is a lot of fun. Here I have some Action Force parts on here. I have a jacket or a vest, knife and gun from the Carrack figure. And this figure's great. I love it. I found it one of the best figures from Mezco this year to be doing part swaps, and it just mixes up really well. And I love the darker sort of browns and earthy tones of this particular one. The other one is fantastic, and it's highly likely going to be on my top 10 over $100, but this one is this one was under 100, so it's able to be on this particular list. Number 6, another Christmas-themed figure, another Christmas drop, so to speak. We have Krampus from the new line called Figura, Obscura from the Four Horsemen Studios. Essentially, this is a Mythic Legions figure. It's all the Mythic Legions parts. It's a fantastic introduction of this new head sculpt, this new collar piece. I did do a review on it, so if you want to check that out, you can check out my review of this figure. Fantastic release, really nice surprise that they dropped that and it was like in stock and shipping, and very cool. I love the new tail, and just overall it's a great representation of this Krampus character, this mythological folklore demon guy. Anyway, that is my number 6, and we are into the top 5, and here is my number 5 figure, the MAFEX Dark Knight Triumphant Batman from Medicom Toys. This is the battle damaged one, and the weathering and the details on this are just incredible. And this is one of those figures where it's like, I'm not the biggest MAFEX fan, but this particular line and this buck, this Batman that they've been doing from the Dark Knight Returns, it blows me away every time I pick this thing up. The articulation is incredible. It's a big chunky figure. I don't feel like it's fragile or weaker like a lot of the other MAFEX figures. So it's just incredible. It's got an alternate head sculpt. And I know they just released the 2-pack with Carrie Kelly Robin. So this line is my favorite MAFEX line, like by a mile. Number 4, we have yet another pretty much surprise release from the Four Horsemen Studios. And this was the LegionsCon exclusive Sir Girard, designed by Jeremy Girard, good friend of the channel. Go follow him on Mythic Customs YouTube channel. Check out all his amazing work on the Four Horsemen website and all that stuff. Like, Jeremy is well-deserved to be able to have the opportunity to design this figure. And he hit a home run as far as I'm concerned. And I know I'm kind of like biased towards these parts. Everybody who follows me on Instagram knows I love that head sculpt with the wings. I love the tabard body. I love knights in general. And I love black and red, the color combination. So this is just like, to me, it's almost like someone read my mind and made a figure. And then also, in addition to that, to get this head sculpt from Scapular, I was just floored that I had a chance to get this figure. And they are doing a regular release, so I'll probably be getting more, I know that. But so be on the lookout for this to have a regular release down the road, hopefully early 2022. But that is my number 4 figure, the Mythic Legions, LegionsCon exclusive Sir Girard, designed by the man himself, Mythic Customs Jeremy Girard. In at number 3 is the Mezco 112 Collective Gotham by Gaslight Joker. This was a summer exclusive for their MezcoCon, sort of San Diego Comic-Con event. Another figure with single jointed elbows that it's like, I don't care. This figure is so good, and the new elbows work pretty well, that on a figure like the Joker or Hellboy or another figure that's going to be on my list, it's not that big a deal. I never would have thought at the start of 2021 that I would say 3 of my top 10 action figures of 2021 are going to be Mezco figures with single jointed elbows. But anyway, this is just the details, the hands, the blood, these head sculpts, the smock, all the tools, the briefcase, the suitcase, this really just a whole package, and I cannot wait for that Batman to come out with that accessory kit. So Gotham by Gaslight Joker is in at number 3. And I had to take the turntable off of my review area here for my number 2, which is Balius from Mythic Legions. And this could very easily have been my number 1. This figure blew me away. I love game changers the same way that the hands packs changed the game for Mythic Legions. This figure just absolutely crushed it. And it's such a solid, well-built horse. And it has such amazing details and works so well with so many figures that as soon as I got this figure in hand, I knew this was going to be one of my top figures of 2021. It's so much fun. I originally was like, I can only have like 1 or 2 horses. Like, I don't have the space, but I'm going to make the space. I'm going to get as many of these horses as I can because they're so cool, so much fun, awesome figure. And that's my number 2. And last but not least, we have my number 1 figure from 2021, the Mezco 112 Collective Conan the Barbarian. This is a figure that I just was my expectations were through the roof. Like I was expecting it to be like an amazing figure, and I think it could have been a very easy situation for me to be let down. But nope, not in the slightest. I am so impressed with everything about this figure. It really, like, again, a game changer. It brings the genre of fantasy, sword and sorcery into the 112 collective. Now, I do have a custom cape on here. That is by Harker Customs. But the rest of everything that you see here is the stock Conan. And it's just a shame right now that more people can't get it because it's a super hard to find figure. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they're going to do sort of like a deluxe Mezco Direct exclusive version because we really need this figure back out. They got to put out another version of it. So if they do a deluxe and include everything this came with, plus a bunch of other new stuff, maybe a helmeted Conan head, I think that'll be my figure of the year for 2022, assuming it does release in that year. But yeah, I mean, there was pretty much no doubt in my mind the minute I opened this figure that this was my figure of the year. And we're talking months ago, like October, I think, something like that. So totally blown away. Awesome year for, this kind of like premium $80 range, $100 range action figure market. And the competition was stiff. And I hope you enjoyed my list. I'd like to hear what your list is. Like, what are your top 10 action figures in that like $50 to $100 range? Put it in the comments below. Hit me up on Instagram. I hope you enjoyed my video. Until next time, may the force be with you.
Follow me into